If you're not making what you like and you're just making shit, you're not gonna find success. Loop makers will never go away. And I will stand by that. If we're being honest with ourselves, the most creativity in a beat comes from the melody. He said he was connected with Metro Boomin. He had Tay Keith connect, a bunch of just producers that are popping out. I was like, sure, if you're gonna send my melodies out, people who I'd never be able to contact normally.
Welcome to the Made in the Studio podcast, where we spotlight the creatives behind your favorite songs. I'm your host, Desmond A., and today we have a special guest. Today's guest has produced records for VL Deck, Lil Wayne, Rich the Kid, and more. It's with great pleasure that I introduce to the podcast, David S. David, welcome to the
I
podcast.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the first thing I wanted to do was just kind of get a little bit into your background. So how did you initially get into music, and then how did you transition into music production itself?
Definitely, man. So I started off in high school. I listened to a lot of rap music, just like any other high school trap, like Roddy Rich, Drake, all those guys really popping off. I was listening to a lot of that kind of music, and then I started watching those deconstructed videos on YouTube, like the Genius Deconstructed. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those. They were great videos, man. I don't know why they don't make those anymore, man. Those are really awesome videos. But I think I watched one with Wonder Girl. She's a Canadian producer, actually female producer. She's really, really dope. And then I watched a couple with Jahan Sweet. I know I watched the one where he did what's the Kodak Black song? It's skipping my mind right now, but the one really, really big Kodak song. Yeah. And so those deconstructed videos kind of introduced me to music production. I was like, wow, these look like this looks like a really dope thing. And then I looked into FL Studio. I was kind of trying to pick what DAW to use, and most of the deconstructed videos I was seeing, most of the guys were in FL Studio. So I'm like, shoot, I'll give that a try. And then I was I think I was a sophomore or junior in high school at the time, and I asked my parents if they could get me the trial version because I didn't have no money at the time. So I was going out, I was hoping they'd get it for me, and I think for my birthday they got it for me sophomore year of high school, and then I started cooking up. Obviously, it was trash in the beginning, and then I got a little bit better every single year. I started off just making beats. I would just pull random samples from the internet, and then I would just throw drums on them just to learn how the DAW worked and everything. And then I would say junior year of high school, senior year, I started getting into making more melodies. So sample loops, melody loops. And then actually freshman, sophomore year of college, I went over to Rutgers in New Brunswick. I took a break because I was doing class and stuff. And obviously as a college kid, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and music wasn't that big of a passion for me just yet. So I took a break freshman, sophomore year. I enjoyed my classes and stuff, but it didn't give me the same feeling that music did. So I kind of returned to it junior, senior year, and I graduated college last year in May of 2024, and I've been working now. So it's been a year since I graduated, and yeah, man, my passion for music, I would say, is at all time high right now. So yeah, man, that's kind of how I got started, and you know where I began.
You mentioned that a moment ago that you took a break from music. Now, did that break help you? Did it make you more passionate about it later, or did you kind of have to find your groove again later?
I don't think it helped me, man. I think it would have benefited me to continue making music during those years. I was just I was in college, I was a kid, I kind of wanted to just party and hang out with my friends. You know how it goes in college. So it's it definitely would have benefited me way more if I had been making music through those 2 years, because that's just more hours, more practice. The more you grind the shit, the better you get. So that's just how it is. My boy, I was having a conversation with my boy at the end of sophomore year. He's like, "Bro, you gave up on your dream, bro?" And I was like, what are you talking about? What dream?" He's like, "Dude, your music, man. Why?" He's like, "Why'd you stop doing that?" It's really good to have people like that in your life, because sometimes you talk to them, they give you a nice reality check, and you're like, "Damn, do I really want to sit in an office for the rest of my life, or do I want to try to pursue music and do something greater?" And so that kind of conversation locked me back in. Shout out my one friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but shout out to him. And when I came back from that break, it was low key. I was struggling to make anything actually low key. But I told myself one day, I was in my dorm room or whatever, I'm like, I'm just gonna finish something, and then we'll go from there. So I made some shitty ass beat, and then I just rendered it out. I was like, whatever. And I kept going. That kind of ignited it a little bit. And then a week later, I was back in full swing. So yeah.
One thing you mentioned, and this is something that all producers go through, is in the beginning phases, your beats not being so good. Sometimes you can reach a
Yeah,
point where you feel like you're getting better, then you check back maybe a few months later, you're like, "Well, those
yeah,
beats weren't quite so good." So,
yeah.
for all the producers out there who are in the process of learning how to make beats, how exactly, from your perspective, will they know that they've reached a point of improvement where they can show their beats to artists and local artists or just artists in general?
Bro, that's actually a great question because a lot of people send shit. Like, I have people even in my DMs now, like, they're like, yo, what do you think of this beat? What do you think of this beat? And like, you want to give people honest feedback. You don't want to be harsh at the same time. Right now, in this day and age, man, you have infinite resources, bro. You can go on Instagram, go on these producers. Everyone posts their beats. Like, everyone's beats are out there. Like, whether they have a beat page, whether they're posting reels, whether they post on YouTube, like, everyone's beats are out there. Or even like, you could just go on Spotify and listen to like top 100 trap or like top 100 rap and like just listen to what it sounds like. It might be easier to actually do that on YouTube because you get the beats with no lyrics and you can just listen to the melody or the drums like without vocals, and that might help you like single it out a little bit. Using these resources that are out there, like without comparing yourself in a bad way, just listen to these top guys, like hear what makes them stand out. The thing where people struggle a lot at the beginning, it's like because now you got melody loops, you got drum loops, everything's available. People struggle with mixing. So really listen to how these 808s are hitting. Like listen to the mix. You know, their shit hits harder for a reason. Like so just analyze that shit and like when you start to like hear your shit sounds a little bit similar and it's like hitting the same way, those 808s and kicks are really punching through, then you can start to be like, okay, I think I'm at a point where I can start sending stuff out. If you send too much stuff out before you really hit that level, you're going to lose your credibility, obviously, as a producer, because people like are just going to think of, unfortunately, they're just going to think of you as the one guy who just doesn't sends mid beats. So you don't want to end up like that. Like I'm definitely like that with a lot of artists because I was sending stuff out even before I was good enough. So like I definitely got blackballed by a couple people, but that's just part of the game, man. Like you also can't let it get like discourage you. You just keep going. You know, there's a million artists, a million producers out there, so just keep going and then compare yourself in a good way. Don't do it in a negative way. Be like, oh, these guys are so much better than me. I'm never gonna reach that level. Be like, is my shit hitting as hard as these guys? What makes me stand out? And like, so who's gonna pick my beat over the next guy? You know what I mean? So, you know, compare yourself, but in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and that's awesome advice. So, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah,
And you mentioned
appreciate it.
previously that you got into making melody loops, and a lot of producers, have been getting into creating melodies, especially the past few years. So, what exactly got you into creating melody loops and sending them out?
I seen a lot of other producer friends that like I was close with at the time. They transitioned to like a lot of people actually started out just doing loops. Like you see a lot of people in their Instagram bios, they just have loop maker because yeah, at the end of the day, like people who are in the studio and they're working and they're cracking out like 10 to 20 beats, they need to have like a bunch of loops ready. And so that's really it's just a matter of supply and demand, really. People use loops nonstop. And like those people who are out there saying like, you know, if you're just a loop maker, you're not a real producer. Like that's obviously a bunch of BS. Like you should never listen to that. Like loop makers will never go away. Like, and I will stand by that. Like the if we're being honest with ourselves, the most creativity in a beat comes from the melody. That's where the vocalist gets their idea for the song from. That's where it all stems from. Like I know Metro does the drums first thing, but like most people, they start with the melody and then they put the drums, and the whole idea comes from that. So sample makers aren't going to go away, man. So it's just how can you think about the easiest way to get a placement? Well, it's just making fire melodies and then sending them out to as many producers as you possibly can. If you have the ability to make crazy melodies and like your networking is like a little bit good, you could still get placements. Now, if your melodies are crazy and then you also are really good at networking, you're about to pop off. So like melodies are really like the basis of a beat, in my opinion. In my opinion, some people will tell you different, but yeah. So I think melody and loop makers are always going to be around, and like you know people who say that they don't. That's not real. Like you know, I say fuck them. Like you definitely loop makers are important for sure.
Right, and that's a take that kind of, divides the producer community at times,
All the time,
the
yeah.
drums, the melodies. So, speaking of melodies, loops, and setting them out, from what I understand, that is part of your process of getting the Rich the Kid and Lil Wayne placement for Trust Fund. So, kind of give us the background story on the process of you landing that placement.
That's a really funny story, actually. The trust fund melody, I made that maybe I want to say my senior or junior year of high school, bro, way back. Like this was probably 2018, I want to say. So I would be a junior at that point because I graduated 2020. Yeah. So junior year of high school, just it was another melody. Like this is when I had just started making melodies. Like I seen a bunch of sample makers. I was like, I'm gonna try this. Like seems like it's hot right now. So it was like a simple like two chord progression. I had a guy who was he had sort of like volunteered to A&R my stuff for me, and I was obviously very young at the time. Like I was just a junior in high school. I'm still like, you know, like, I still have a lot to learn too, but, like, I was very, very young back then, and he had offered to A&R stuff for me, so I'm like, "Whatever, yeah." He said he had a lot of connections to cool people, like, he said he was connected with Metro Boomin, he had Tay Keith connect, a bunch of just, like, producers that are popping out. I was like, "Sure, like, if you're gonna send my melodies out," like, people who I'd never be able to contact normally. I sent him over a bunch of samples, like, didn't think anything of it, never heard anything back. So fast forward to my junior year of oh, that's actually crazy. My junior year of college, or in my junior year of high school, then to my junior year of college. Fast forward, I was working with another guy, B Holy, on Instagram. Without him, I would have never have known about this placement. So he's like, I need beats for Rich the Kid. Like, um, send me some stuff. So I'm listening to Rich the Kid's music because, like, to be honest with you, I didn't have Rich the Kid on my playlist at the time, so I wasn't really familiar with the stuff he was making recently. Like, I knew his popular songs, obviously, but I wasn't familiar with his latest music. So I was going through and I seen he did a tape with Lil Wayne. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this. And then I got down to the track called Trust Fund. I was just like clicking through songs as I was like playing a video game or doing something else just to like get an idea for the music. And then I scroll down to the song, which is Trust Fund. And then I hear my own melody like being played like in my headphones. And I like, at first, like I was looking at my computer because I thought something was glitching. Like I thought one of my like Dropbox folders was playing for some reason. And like I was like, why is like my shit playing? Like, and then I realized like, okay, like this is actually the song. This is a Tay Keith co-produced song. So I hear my sample and I hear the Tay Keith tag. I'm like, holy shit. Like, and he didn't even pitch it or nothing. So like, or reverse it or anything. So I knew straight up it was my sample. Like it was the same exact preset, same exact sound, everything. From there, like I almost didn't know what to do. Like I was like, should I post it on my page? I ended up posting on my page because like who could resist, bro? It's Wheezy, bro. It's a dream placement really for most people. I'm not saying that to flex or brag or anything, but like people like I dreamed of getting a song with Lil Wayne before I actually got one. Like that thought had crossed my mind. Like he's just one of the coolest artists you could possibly work with. So I hear my melody. I was like, I don't know what to do even. Like I didn't have management at the time. So like I really didn't know what the next move should be. So I was hitting up a bunch of people. People had told me to like find a lawyer. And like at first I hit up Adam Freeman, who's actually a really good guy. Huge music. I don't know if you know him. He's a big entertainment music lawyer in the industry. He helps a lot of people with big songs. And
Right.
I told him like, I got this track with Lil Wayne. Like what should I do? Like he really only handles like really, really big songs and like really big cuts. So but what was great about him is he actually referred me to another guy, Producer Royalty, producer.royalty. I don't know if that's still the name of their page. I'm pretty sure it is. It's at Producer Royalty. Like I hit them up and I was like, listen, I don't have any money to give you guys up front. And they were like, don't worry about it. Like we'll just once we get that advance for you, we'll just take a cut from that. And then you can go ahead and take the rest. And I'm like, I was thrilled because like I was expecting not to make any money from it and not even get credit because like, unfortunately, that's how most of these things go in the industry. The industry is kinda whack like that.
Right.
But they were super, super good to me. Like, they were like, "We're gonna take care of everything for you. We're gonna hit up the." They had connects with, Lil Wayne's team, so they were able to kinda reach out to his management or his label and just get it took, like I think I hit them up in the summer of 2024 and or even a little bit before that. And I just, like, recently got credit, like, about a year ago, so, like, it really took a while for everything to come to fruition, like, shit moves slow in the industry, you know how it goes, but, like, after a bunch of emails back and forth, we got the clearance, like, they even put my name on the record, so, like, shout out Producer Royalty, man, I cannot thank them enough, they really, like, helped me out, especially when I had no one. Now I have, like, a management and stuff, like, they're able to help me with this stuff, thank God, but back then I really had no one, so they really, really helped me out, so, yeah, that's kinda story of the placement. Sometimes you just get placements randomly and you won't even know about them. And some people like they don't even want to tell you because they're just quietly taking the credit for it. Like it's as much as you don't want to admit it, it's like a little bit of twisted industry sometimes. So like you got to watch out for yourself and just be vigilant. Oh, but don't be rude. Like if someone like A&R'd your sample and they posted on their page, if anything, they did you a favor. Now you're on a huge song, you know. So it's a give and a take. As much as you want to like call that person out and be like, why didn't you tell me that I got this placement? At the end of the day, they did something great for you. So you got to take them care of though at the end. So can't complain.
Wow. That's a crazy story, and it shows that how important patience is. Patience in waiting for everything to get sorted out, and patience on not going off on people. Unfortunately, on
Right.
my Instagram timeline, I kind of see people taking like subtle shots at each other, and then
It
I'm
happens all
like,
the time. Producers love beefing
yeah,
with each other, bro. I don't know why. Like they love it, man. They always looking for a fight. But it's like
exactly.
you could kill a connection like that, bro. And that's the last thing you want to do. You should be utilizing every single person you can and being nice to everybody because you never know when that person's gonna come back to you with an opportunity. And the more and more you like push people away, the less they're gonna want to work with you. So you want to work with everybody, bro. You want to be as out there as you possibly can, getting your stuff in front of everybody. And if you're just a rude asshole, like no one's gonna wanna work with you, bro. So, like, be personable and be a nice person for sure.
Absolutely. Now, if there's one thing you could change about that situation, would you change anything, or did you kind of take the losses as lessons in the process?
It taught me a lot about the way the industry moves and how long this shit really takes because I used to be under the impression you get a placement, they pay you right away, you get all your royalties. Like, dude, that's not even how it works. Like, it takes time. The labels take forever to send you your money. So I'm kind of glad that I was shown the way the industry actually works. But of course, if I would have changed something, I would have liked to have known when. Imagine how cool I would have been in high school walking around with the Wheezy placement, bro. Like, I would have been
Oh
like,
man,
obviously, nah, I
you would
don't
have
care
been
about that.
him.
But like, yeah, it would have been nice to have known sooner and not
Yeah.
to find out randomly through just listening to Spotify. And that makes me wonder how many other placements I have that I don't know about. Like if I'm just out there listening to a song randomly on Spotify and all of a sudden my sample's there. And it's funny, bro, because I try to go back and Shazam it to I'll play my sample into Shazam to like see if it hits the song and it doesn't come up, bro. Like honestly, they strategically did that because if you listen to the song, Wheezy's lyrics, they come in right away. There's no delay between like you know how some songs they have like the melody just plays at the beginning and the rapper
Right.
doesn't really start rapping until a couple bars in.
Hmm.
This song, he starts rapping right away, so Shazam doesn't pick up my sample alone. Like Wheezy's voice would have to be incorporated with it for it to pick it up. So when I play my sample, like nothing like Shazam or anything picks it up. So that makes me wonder, like, what other songs do I have that I don't know about? But the AI technology is kind of getting somewhere now where maybe we can put our samples in and it'll just like tell us what songs that are made with them. But that's kind of the story of the Wheezy placement. Yeah, I wish he had told me they had told me a little bit sooner. But what can you do, man? It was a great learning experience, and I kind of know how the industry works now a little bit more. So yeah, it definitely was a learning experience.
Gotcha. Yes, it's good that you use that to, help you grow and not become jaded. Now, one thing you spoke about earlier, as you were getting into the story, you talked about having someone who stated that they can, A&R your music for you and help you get out there. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of scam artists who run different type of cons on the internet and maybe even in person. So, from your perspective, how do you discern who is legit and who isn't when it comes to those type of opportunities?
Yeah, dude. The unfortunate reality is like most of these A&Rs, like they charge you an upfront fee and then you send them beats. And most of the time you will never hear anything back. Who knows if they're even sending your beats? I really am only working now with A&Rs within my record label because I know that I can trust them and we're all on the same team. But unfortunately, bro, I feel like most of the A&Rs, like they present you with kind of false hope and false opportunity. And a lot of the time they ask for an upfront fee and then you really don't hear much of anything. I would give people the advice to try to go less for A&R unless you are like in a direct relationship with the A&R, like they're signed to the same management as you or they're on your team. Other than that, go to the engineer, man. Go straight to the artist. Like find other people around the artist. Like even like, dude, they're fucking like I got a placement from like with a smaller artist through I hit up his fucking barber, dude. Like the guy who cuts his hair. Like so you just
Wow.
you hit up the people around him around them, and like that's a better bet than an A&R who you don't even know if they're sending your stuff out for sure. Like the A&Rs who like actually send you screenshots of like the conversation and shit, and like they're not just tuning you out, because most of them will just literally not even hit you back after you send beats for like weeks. And dude, I've been through it all. Like I've paid for collabs, I've paid for A&R services, I've made all the mistakes you could possibly make, bro, and I'm still making them like today. So it's just the way the game works, and you kind of like look at people's pages, try to discern and like figure out if they're just flexing a watch or some clothes. They might not be like legit, but if you go on it and they have like plaques and shit and they're actually like established, and then they're actually sending you screenshots of the people who they're sending your stuff to, then that's a different story. But unfortunately they're not looking out for your best interest. They're really just looking out for themselves. If they can make a quick buck telling you that, I'm gonna send your beats to Lil Baby, I'm gonna send your beats to Drake, like I'm gonna
Right.
send your beats to 21 Savage, like unfortunately it's not really like the case. But there's good A&Rs out there, man. So I don't want to discourage people too much. Really just make sure you trust that person first before you start paying people and you start, you know, asking favors. So yeah.
Gotcha. That's some good advice. Now, I've never thought about hitting up an artist barber. Typically I tell producers, the engineer's the way to go, or a different artist on the label, on the roster who aren't quite as big,
Yeah.
but the
No, you're
barber,
probably right. It's a little
that's
far fetched, but like anybody who's around them, bro, like you could hit up like girls who they hang out with. Like you could like just look at their following, like a kind of like a little cheat code. Like if you look at who the artist is following, you can easily see like their team and the people who, because most of these artists, they don't really follow too many people. So the people who they are following, chances are they're close to them and they have a close relationship with them. Even someone's homeboy, like who just sits in the studio and just like rolls blunts for them and stuff. Like you literally just hit them up. Anybody who's around the artist. It doesn't just have to be the engineers and the producers they work with. People get caught in that kind of like tunnel vision. But anybody who's around them. What's good too is if you have a big artist like Lil Baby, you probably won't be able to reach them. What you can do is look at their following and see who the artists are signed under them, and then maybe one day you can use that connection to get up to like to Lil Baby or whoever the top guy might be. But yeah, you go down, like see who they're around, see who they're following. If they have any signed artists under them, hit them up, see if you can work with them. And then, chances are if you get a nice connection, they'll tell you about, like they'll tell the guy above them, like, yo, this guy makes fire. Like you should work with him too. And then you're all of a sudden you're connected with the whole label. So just look at who they're following and just try to get people who are close to them. That's the best advice I could give.
dropping gems, dropping gems.
I'm
Now,
trying to, man. I'm giving you everything I know here. So
so we were just talking about hitting up different people around the artist, which is essentially, of course, their network. Now, one thing I've noticed, there are producers out there who can crank out a zillion fire beats nonstop, but something in them never wants to actually leave the house. They don't want to travel. They don't want to leave the house. They don't want to go in the studio. They just want to crank out beats and stay in their basement. So, what do you
right.
say to those producers who can't quite get out their shell to actually meet people?
Yeah, man, I can resonate with that because it's super easy to just like sit here and make beats and samples. Like, dude, that's what I've been doing basically up until like a year ago. Like, that's basically what I was doing. I was just cooking up samples and beats in my bedroom and sending them out, email. If you want to be a producer and you like, it's one thing to have a hobby, like, and do this shit for fun. But like, if you really want to be a producer, like, you got to put a name to the face, bro. People can't just look at your at. Like, you got to post reels. Like, go to studios and meet people who are around you, man. It's like I couldn't even emphasize how important that shit is, because just yesterday when I was at the studio, like I met like three new guys who my boy Ram invited. I never like would have even network and meet these guys if I didn't come to the studio. So like even less so the music side, like it's obviously dope to go to a studio and cook up music on like the crazy speakers and like interface that they got. It's really, man, the important part about it is the networking that you're doing, the people that you're meeting when you go to these types of things. And like they see you, like, and when you pop out to these places, like they see your face and they're like, okay, this guy's actually willing to come and drive and like and work with us, like rather than just anybody can send loops through a Dropbox link on email, bro. Like I've been doing that shit for years. Like if you want to be a producer and do this shit for your job, especially if you want to make a living and do this full time, like it's really unavoidable. Like you have to at the very least make reels and make or YouTube videos, put a name to the face. Like I don't really know successful really big producers who don't show their face. Like I think everybody now has a personal brand. Like maybe there's a select few, But like I think 90% of these guys now, like these big industry guys, they all make reels, they all make content, and they most definitely, if they don't do those two things, they most definitely pop out to the studio and work with artists in person. So if you want to do this shit full time and you want to be serious, like then it's really unavoidable. Like you really have to put yourself out there, unfortunately. And I'm a little introverted myself, so I definitely resonate with that. But it's just like you gotta face your fear, and like the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. Like the first reel I posted, like of my face, like I was bugging. Like I was like, are my boys gonna make fun of me? Like, am I gonna like, get made fun of? But like you gotta understand what you're doing is the best course of action for you. So no matter what people say, and like, bro, that didn't even happen. Like all my boys were like, yo, this is fire. Like you should keep doing this. So like a lot of the times your fears are just straight up irrational. So like if you can just get over that, then you're in business, man. Go out to studios, go make reels, go network. That's only gonna help you. Only do things that are gonna push you forward, not hold you back. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, the anticipation of making a mistake tends to be what holds a lot of people back. It's not when you
exactly.
actually take the action, that's when you realize, okay, it's not that bad. I was
Right.
just kind of in my head. And that's something a lot of
Exactly.
introverts go through. Now,
Yeah, man.
speaking of that, what are your views on cooking up with an artist in the studio versus emailing beats?
Obviously, cooking up with an artist in the studio is like the ideal, like because like you make a beat, like they can ask you to make some changes. Like it doesn't have to be like like if you go back and forth on email, it's a little annoying. And like, most artists, like 90% of artists are just not going to go back and forth with you on email. Either they take the beat or one little minor thing is wrong with the beat. And for that reason, they won't take it and you won't hear from them. Whereas if you're in a studio and a little thing is wrong with your beat, they can just be like, "Oh, bro, can you just move that 808 one bar to the left?" And you like, "Okay, yeah, like that's easy." So it's definitely a more like personable, more interactive experience. Obviously, when you're cooking up with an artist in the studio, also you can kind of get the feel for an artist if you're in the studio, right? Like if you play a bunch of beats and like they're like, "Nah, not that one, not that one, that one." Like you don't get that same experience when you're emailing. Like they're just going through beats and then they may pick out whichever one they want or they may not. But you won't ever know it. Like especially if your beat doesn't get picked, like you won't ever know why. Like at least if the artist is in the studio with you, like you go through beats, like you can be like you can look at them like physically and be like, okay, he's not feeling this. Or like if you're good at picking up on reactions and stuff, yeah, definitely a more like interactive, personable experience if you're in the studio with the artist physically. But there's nothing wrong with emailing beats, man. Like if you don't know any artists and that's the only way, and you don't really have any studios, like a lot of these guys from Europe and a lot of these Korean producers coming up now, like they obviously, like it's tougher for them to go into studios because most of the trap rap artists are in America. So like most of their placements are just coming from emailing stuff. So there's definitely nothing wrong with that. But obviously if you have the option to go and cook up with an artist in a studio, especially if you know how to engineer, that's huge because like a lot of the artists don't really want to hire an engineer. They don't want to bring an engineer. It's dope if you can do everything, man. The more you know, the more like money you can make, and also just the more like control you have over the situation. Like you can make a whole song start to finish, you can produce it and engineer it. An artist is gonna like rock with you all the way through. Like there's no way that fails because you know how to make a song start to finish. That's a really really valuable skill. So definitely in the studio is a little bit better, but if you got to email, you got to email, man. That's the game. So
Yeah, I feel you. One thing with technology, as far as we've came as a society with technology, nothing beats seeing someone face to face and shaking their hand and talking to them
exactly.
about music, even something small. Like, did you hear that album? And then y'all start
Yeah.
talking. Then before you know it, you start cooking up a beat with an artist.
Yeah.
And you don't even, honestly, sometimes producers with better sounding beats will get skipped over for the producer
Exactly.
who actually gets in the
Who
studio with them.
There you
You
go,
know?
man. Yeah. Because it's just human psychology. It's tougher for the artist to say no to you. Like you're literally looking at them. It's way easier for them to skip through a bunch of beats in an email than to actually be like, nah, dude, this shit's not it. Like this shit's mid. Like, that's just human psychology. And that, like you said, like that face-to-face interaction, bro, it's priceless. Like you can't beat that. So you're in a way, way bigger advantage if you're actually face to face for sure, man. That's just psychology.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I heard when I was listening to your beats is I heard your beats are it sounds like you've been making beats for quite a while. They sound developed, like you know how to pick your sounds. You
I
know how
appreciate
to
that, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. You know how to have space. You know how to have things in a way that's it's very pleasing to the ear. And for the newer producers out there, sometimes they struggle to really find their own sound, find their identity as a producer. Some will experiment so much that they're all over the place. So, what advice would you have for producers who are actually trying to find their own particular sound?
Finding your own sound, in my experience, it's all feel, bro. Like, you literally look at your arm and see what gives you goosebumps, bro. Like, see what you like you if you're not making what you like and you're just making shit to just make shit that's popping, like if you see like pain beats are popping or whatever and you're like, dude, I'm gonna make some pain because that's what's hot right now, like, I would say even 95% of the time you're not gonna find success because you're not making what you're passionate about. You're just trying to follow a trend. But like, dude, if you're making music that makes the hair on your arm stand up, people can feel that, bro. People can feel passion in music. Like, that's what music is all about. It's showing people and like sharing with people like this sound that you created and because you're passionate about it. Like, you don't want to just like make pain or NBA Youngboy like I'm not saying that because that's like you know that's not a good trend or anything. Like, those beats are hard, don't get me wrong. If that's not what sets your heart on fire or like makes you happy, like, why are you even making it? Like, music is supposed to be fun, man. Like, you're supposed to be enjoying this shit. Like, as much as some of the little tedious bits are, like, maybe editing, the stuff that no one likes doing, like editing videos or like networking. At the end of the day, like, take when you are making music, that's the part you're really supposed to enjoy. So if you're not enjoying that either, you're not long in this game, Like, you gotta really make what you enjoy and be passionate, man. That's how you find your sound.
Sometimes I do hear producers like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're stuck between what their heart is telling them to make and what's popular and what's banging maybe on TikTok. So it's like I can almost hear like the inner turmoil.
Battle, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'm a victim of it too, man. Like, sometimes the people in my management will hit me up like, "Yo, we need this kinda beat, like, can you make it?" Like, and I'm like, I sometimes will even do it, but, like, as I'm making it, I'm like, "Bro, this isn't my shit." Like, and I'm like, it's a psychological thing, bro. Like, you almost know it's not gonna get placed because you're not happy, like, you're not fully, like, satisfied when you're making it, and that's a big, like, and bro, I'm not that this is not to say that you can't make music in all genres. You definitely can. Like, if you find love in like Afrobeat, but you also love like dark trap, like, that's not to say you can't do both. You definitely can. You really just gotta listen to what, like, as corny as it fucking sounds, bro. You gotta listen to what your heart says and like and make sure your heart's in it because people can hear when it's not, bro. And people can hear when the shit's like not organic and coming from your soul. Like, as corny as that shit sounds, like, it's a real thing. Like, people can feel through music. So like, you know, just just stick with what you love, man. Like, that you cannot lose if you do that. You really can't.
Absolutely. Now, one question I have is what's one thing about music production that you know now that you wish you knew in the very beginning when you first started?
Bro, when I first started, I honestly thought that, like, whoever has the catchiest melody or, like, the, like, most complicated drums or, like, the coolest drums, like, those are the ones who get in placements, like, most of the shit that gets placed, like, these beats are not even that complex. It's actually mostly, like, and this is something I'm realizing more so now, like than I was before because I really fall into this trap where, especially when I make melodies, like, I'm trying to do too much. Like, I'm adding too many counter melodies. Like, I keep adding shit, and then I don't know when to stop. Like, and then I was thinking about this too more yesterday when I was driving to the studio. Like, I was listening to like some of the SG new album. I don't know if you know SG. Like, he makes some fire dark shit, and all these melodies that I'm hearing, bro, that they're mad simple, and the drums are also like two-step hi hat, super simple. But the main thing that stands out is the mix is always hitting. The 808s are coming through, the melody is clear, like the hi-hats are ticking, like the mix is clean. Like, it may not be the most complicated shit. It may not be the most like evolved, complex like melody. It's a clean mix, and there's enough space for the rapper to really do his thing with the vocals. And that's something I wish I knew from the beginning. And even up to like a year ago, like, I've still fallen into this trap. Even today, like, I'll still make like super complicated stuff because to me that sounds good. But then I think to myself, I'm like, where's the artist gonna fit on this? Like, so that's something I kind of wish I knew at the beginning. Like, don't overcomplicate stuff, make it simple, give room for the artist. And really important, make sure that your mix is really on point because more so than anything, like, let's say if you have a bad beat, but you have a good mix, that shit could really like still honestly get you somewhere. But like if
Yep.
even if you have a good beat, like a super fire beat, good melody and super good drums, and but you got a shitty mix, like that shit's not going anywhere, man. So mixing like and sound selection too, picking those high quality sounds, super important. Almost more important than having a catchy melody or a catchy drums. Like just making sure your shit like mixes well and hits well. That's so important.
Now, how long did it take you to get to the point where you got good at mixing your beats?
When I say mixing, I guess I more so mean leveling because I don't sit there on the mixer and like actually level shit. Like I just turn down certain sounds or like now I know to like when I have a melody that has a heavy bass line and I'm trying to put 808s, like you got to cut out the low end of the melody so you can have room for your 808s. So understanding that kind of musically, sonically a little bit, just having a little bit of understanding. You don't got to go crazy like some of these guys with their mixes, like in their masters, like just having that little bit of knowledge, like, okay, if I have an 808 coming in here, I got to take out the low end. Or like if I want my hi-hat to shine through, I got to take out some of the high end. Like just having these little nuances of knowledge is going to really take you a long way. And the best way you can learn about stuff like that, bro, I'm telling you, YouTube has everything you ever needed and more, man. Like YouTube has you could do a 4-year freaking university on just what YouTube has, man. Like and go even more than that. So YouTube is your best friend. See what the guys who already know what they're doing, learn from them. Like don't be ignorant and be like, yeah, yeah, I already know everything there is to know. I'm just gonna keep making these beats. You're not gonna like you gotta be a little humble and listen to people who are where you want to be. Get that YouTube advice, man. That the YouTube is really, really, really underrated for sure.
Shout out to YouTube University.
Dude, there's so much you can learn on there. I mean, you can learn anything on YouTube, bro. Like, forget even music, bro. You could learn to build a house on YouTube. You could fucking learn whatever you want, man. So YouTube's super underrated for sure.
In the process of creating music, one thing that producers sometimes run into is beat block. So do you run into beat block at times, and how do you get past that?
Definitely, man, all the time. Beat block is something like that no one is immune to, bro. Sometimes you hop in FL Studio and you're just staring at like the front screen and you're like, bro, what am I gonna make today? At that time, it's super important. Like, look what inspires you. Like, if you have a certain type of music that you love to listen to, go listen to that. Go listen to new music too, because the new music that's dropping right now, like you can pick up stuff that's like that's trending or like just listen to what you like too. Like if you really like a certain genre of trap, like you like listening to dark trap, like more so than anything else. Go listen to that. Go listen to what inspires you. And also another thing that's good is if you go and listen to actually other genres of music. Like that's low key underrated. Like sometimes I get like crazy inspiration from these EDM tracks that I hear or like just like straight up if you listen to classical music even like you can get ideas from other genres of music. You don't just have to listen to one genre. And as a music producer, that's important to do, bro. You want to be familiar with all the different types of music there is, man. So listen to different genres. Again, back to YouTube, bro. You go and watch someone cook up on YouTube, you're gonna be like, bro, like you're gonna be inspired from that. And you're gonna be like, dude, they just made some fire. Why can't I? And you're gonna go and get that passion back for it. Because when you have beat block, that's just a lack of passion and motivation or even discipline, if you want to look at it that way. So go on YouTube, man. Watch a guy like, dude, the Genius Deconstructed videos that I was talking about at the beginning.
Yep.
Those are great inspiration, bro. If you want some inspiration, go watch those, man, because those guys are the best of the best. And most of the time, like they're in like a dope ass studio and they're breaking down the beat. And you'd be like, bro, like maybe this beat block shit like is just in my head. Just do what inspires you, man, and like get motivated, you know. And doing the YouTube videos are great.
There's never a good time to have beat block, so having
Nah,
those
man, I still go
tools.
through it now, man. I still get it. Like, especially when it comes to making melodies, like if you're using a if you're cooking drums on a loop, it's kind of hard to get beat block because you just pull a new loop. And that's actually another way to get rid of beat block is if you cook up on someone's loop and you put some drums on there, after you render that shit out, you're gonna be ready to make a melody. Like you're gonna already be in that mindset. So that's another good way too to get rid of beat block. So yeah, bro, I'm not immune to it either, man. I still get that shit. So, you know. It's just something we all work through as producers, for sure.
Yeah. As many gems and tools we can use to get through that, the more the better, because it's never a
Exactly,
good
man.
time for beat block.
Right, as many
Now
things as you can kinda use, for sure.
now, David, what projects do you have coming up that the people should be on the lookout for?
I've been working on a lot of stuff with my label. I have a song that's supposed to be coming out in the near future. Obviously, with artists, it's never definite, and like you just hope to be on the next album. But I have a song with a Latin artist who's signed with our record label. Hopefully that'll be coming out soon. And bro, I post reels and type beats on my I have a guy helping me also with my type beat channel just because I have so much going on. But people can listen to my new shit every single day. Like I post reels like basically every other day. So if you just go to my Instagram page, Prod David S, and you just scroll over to the reels section, you could literally see like all the samples I'm working on, like all the beats that I'm working on. And yeah, hopefully we got some new placements in the works. So hope I don't want to say anything, speak too soon, because a lot of times when you speak on that kind of stuff, it doesn't happen. So
True.
I'm hoping I get some new songs coming out soon. Yeah, man, I have a couple songs that I did already that you guys can listen to. Obviously, Trust Fund with Lil Wayne, Rich the Kid. That's like the placement I'm most known for. But also, I have a crazy song with Rude Boy Finesse. He's a crazy, crazy artist. He actually used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Funnily enough, he's a dope artist. I did the song. I did the melody on the song "Up" for him. I did that with Nitros. I don't know if you know him. He's in 808 Mafia, I believe, and he's also actually in the label that I'm in now too. Yeah, that he's an awesome up and coming artist, and I just did one with another guy out of the city. He's N. Dot Spin a lot. I did a little I did a melody. I did like a soul melody for him and Chubby El Jefe. Yeah, Chubby El Jefe. He co-produced that one with me, so you guys can go and stream that. All like I said, all the stuff, all my placements are on my page. And then if you guys want to hear what I'm working on most recently, the best way to do that is to go over to the Reels section of my page, and you can see all the current samples and stuff that I'm working on. So yeah, I appreciate you letting me advertise myself a little bit there, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to grow the producer community. And
Yeah, man.
can you give out your Instagram handle so people can
Yeah,
find
yeah,
you?
for sure. So prod, so PROD, just David S. So just it's just literally just my name and then the first initial of my last name. So PROD David S. That's all it is, man.
All right, perfect, perfect. David S., thank you so much for joining the Made in the Studio podcast. You drop nothing but gems.
I appreciate it, man. This was really, really solid, and I think we had a great conversation. So I
Ab-
appreciate it, man.